On July 28, 2019, a 19-year-old male snuck into the Garlic Festival with an AK-47 and shot and killed 3 people and injured 15. In less than 24 hours of the shooting, the who's who of the anti-gun crowd movement couldn't wait to stand on the tragedy to push gun control.
We never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
That being said, I think it's more than safe to say that as a nation, we all want to prevent shootings like this, pro-gunners and anti-gunners alike. We all feel sick to our stomach when tragedies like this happen, and each side has their reaction. One side will blame the lack of gun control laws, the other side will continue to insist that more gun laws won't stop this, and in some cases, makes it much worse. I really want to believe that there are a lot of misguided but well-intended people on the gun control side. However, the problem with the more gun control side is that their viewpoint isn't rooted in reality. Gun control for them is a magic pill that instantly makes all the shootings stop. And the more gun control we have, the less shootings we will have. The problem is we have these people called criminals who by definition don't obey laws. In California, it's against the law to own an AK-47. It's against the law to bring in an AK-47. It's against the law to have more than 10-round magazines in California. It's against the law to bring in more than 10-round magazines into California. It's against the law to bring a gun into the Garlic Festival. It's against the law to shoot and kill people at the Garlic Festival. And guess what this kid did? He broke every single one of those laws without blinking. And not one of those laws stopped him from doing what he did. So you're thinking, well, why don't we just ban these rifles on the federal level so he can't get the guns from another state? Well, we tried that in '94 and it didn't work. It was called the assault weapons ban, and it banned almost all semi-automatic rifles from 1994 to 2004. And because it had no effect on crime after 10 years, it sunset on itself on the federal level. But on the state level, you have states like California that have their own version of an assault weapons ban. And hell, it's not even working for them. Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Iowa, Vermont, Minnesota, Nebraska, Maine, Illinois, Wisconsin, Delaware, North Dakota, Washington, and Kansas. All of these states have a lower gun violence rate than California, and none of these states have an assault weapons ban. Not to mention there are 15 to 20 million semi-auto rifles in this country. You can ban them on paper all you want, but we can't even keep drugs off of the streets. And it's a lot easier to smuggle guns than it is to smuggle drugs, because guns don't smell and you can break them down into unrecognizable parts. So no, a nationwide ban would not have stopped this. For a state that prides itself on its strict gun laws, California has had some of the most high-profile mass shootings with AR-15s in the country. Oh, and please miss me with the age limit gun control argument. Raising the age to purchase semi-automatic rifles is a strategy for simpletons. The kid in Newtown killed 21 kids with an AR-15 he took from his mother at the age of 20. So what's next? You're gonna ban semi-automatic rifles from people who have kids less than the age of 21? What about the 18 to 20-year-olds who are on their own and have whole families that they need to protect? You're gonna take away their most effective tool to protect themselves and their families with because they're not 21? This is getting ridiculous. So now you have to ask yourself, how far are you willing to go with gun control? Are you willing to destroy the Second Amendment for the sake of chasing more gun control? Let's say we had an assault weapons ban in place, and the only gun he could have gotten was a handgun, and he buys the handgun and kills 3 people, injuring roughly 15. By gun control logic, you now have to ban handguns. And don't tell me less people would be killed with a handgun, because the same type of killer in Virginia Tech killed 32 people using only handguns. This is the fundamental problem with the gun control narrative. The ultimate conclusion has to be banning and confiscation of all guns. We are 20,000 gun laws on the state and federal level past the point of common sense gun control. We are at the point of, do we have a Second Amendment or do we not? We are not stupid. We know that the phrase common sense gun measure is a political blank check that you will use in response to every shooting until the Second Amendment is no more. So, if you want to have this conversation, please have it honestly and say, hey, look, we value the Second Amendment, but there are just too many shootings for our liking, and we're going to have to sacrifice the Second Amendment to keep people safe. At least then, at that point, we can come to the table honestly, sit down, and we can look each other face to face and tell you to go to hell. Right now, there's a culture war against the Second Amendment, which is why I need your help spreading our message to counter their message. You can do this by leaving a comment, sharing this video, and click the bell and subscribe button. Let my voice be your voice, and let them know you want to keep America tactical. Because the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed wasn't a suggestion, it was a directive.